get the swing right. And
Turang will leave camp in a few days to join Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. The Bucks' 4-game homestand continues Friday night against the New York Knicks. Doc Rivers' Bucks are surging while Giannis continues to rehab a calf strain.
8 out of 10 is phenomenal with this group. With no Giannis, you take that all day.
The Bucks are 1 game out of playoff position in the Eastern Conference playoff race with 25 games to play. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Looking pretty clear on the roads. A few disabled vehicles to look out for, but no major incidents and no slowdowns. And taking a look at the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 32. Friday, mostly sunny, windy, and very mild, a high of 60. Saturday, back to cold temperatures. Light snow is likely, looking at 1 to 2 inches possible, a high of 30. Sunday, mostly cloudy and chilly, a high of 28. Monday, partly cloudy, a high of 34. Right now in Madison, it's 31 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 30. In Waukesha, it's 31. And in Milwaukee, it's 32 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:08.
On the field, inside the clubhouse, and everything in between. This is Brewers Weekly. Here's Dominic Cotroneo.
Hello, live from Arizona. We are ready to talk some Brewers and talk to some very special guests. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Thanks for joining us here tonight. If you're on YouTube, if you're on the radio, if you're online, if you're on X, whatever it may be, welcome in. I'm Dominic, and I'm down here at spring training covering the Brewers all March and February long. And today is like our biggest show as far as long-form interviews that we've got. In a moment, you're going to hear from William Contreras, Joey Ortiz, a longer conversation with Sal Frelick, and then right here at the very top of the show, we're going to hear from Matt Arnold. So you're not going to hear a lot from me, interacting with you with the text line or with the live chat or anything like that, because these interviews are pretty long, and this is great for the podcast audience. So if you want to catch it after the fact, if you're not able to listen to all of this live, Brewers All Access, wherever you get your podcasts, is where you can listen to this show in its entirety. So because there is so much we have to get to and so much great audio that we're going to hear from, we're going to go ahead and kill a break right here at the front end of the show. And coming up in a moment, you're going to hear our 30-minute interview with Matt Arnold right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-551-7672. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-551-7672. That's 800-551-7672.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, best-selling author, and founder of the Neal Group. Well, you made it. 2025 is in the books. Or is it? Are your books ready for 2026? Have you been able to plan for 2026 growth? Stop running your business on a wing and a prayer. Or if you feel like you are running your business on a wing and a prayer, let us help you make sense of your numbers and get your business in financial shape to move forward in 2026. Don't be stuck in the past trying to clean up your books. Get a head start on making 2026 your best year yet. Make the new tax laws work for you to put more money in your pocket. Call us now to see what your business can do. The first meeting is free. Call 414-325-2040 now. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040 or visit us at nealgroup.net. That's Neal Group.net.
This is Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. The back-to-back MLB Executive of the Year. The man that, for some reason, people still question, and we talk about that. Matt Arnold joins the show. Big, long interview here with Matt, so sit back, relax, and try to get a little smarter about baseball. Hearing from one of the best in the biz and just an awesome guy to talk to. I learn so much every time. So without further ado, here's Matt Arnold.
Season is upon us, and the Brewers are always in the headlines for the reasons that the prognosticators think you guys are not going to be good again, and again. You hear this over and over and over again. How hard is it for you to kind of pause yourself and say, we trust our models, why don't you guys trust our models?
Yeah, it's I try to not pay too much attention to what's being said outside. I worry about the culture, I worry about our people, I worry about what we're about here. And there are certainly models that we lean on here, but there's a lot that goes into decision making beyond just the analytics. There's people, there's process, there's the feeling in the clubhouse, there's Pat Murphy and our coaches, and just there's so much that goes into making decisions around here. And I think that's it's challenging at times, but certainly you want to put people first. And I think that's what our organization is about putting people first and just trying to do what's best for the Brewers to help win a championship for Bob Uecker.
What matters to you internally when you are talking about whether it's trade or depth chart conversations with the rest of the guys here? What are you always finding yourself the core of to make the Brewers better?
Yeah, I think it's we have to walk a fine line here between what we can do to win today, but also be sustainable for a long time. And that's really hard. And I think we've tried to balance that, whether it's bringing in new people to help us win, and also acquire young talent to help us be viable for a long time. And I think when you see moves sometimes in isolation, it doesn't feel like that. That we're trying to do a little bit of both, but we certainly are, and I think that's really tough, that we want to try to be successful here, but we don't want it to just be fleeting. We really want to be good and competitive, and like I said, win a World Series here in Milwaukee.
So when the trades happen, and I think people understood the Freddie deal to an extent. The Caleb deal and the Siegler and the Mona deal, I think there's a lot more of whoa.
Sure.
What did you hear? What were you surprised at how much you heard from that one?
Yeah, well, I mean, my daughter is 17 years old and got a lot of things going on in her life. She just informed me the other day. She's like, "We traded Freddie Peralta. How could you do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was like a month ago, And I'm like, so I hear it from all ends, whether it's at home or from everyone. And look, I mean, that is certainly, yeah, those types of deals are challenging, and especially somebody like you said with Caleb Durbin and what he meant to our franchise. I mean, he was great. He did an outstanding job for us, and the things that he did. But we feel good about where we are. We like David Hamilton and who he is and how he plays the game. Feel good about Joey Ortiz and Bryce Trang up the middle, and a lot of the young, really talented left side of the diamond players, Jesus Made and Cooper Pratt and Brock Wilken and Andrew Fisher and Jet Williams, so we have just a number of young guys and others, that are really exciting, that we feel good about, and so I think to obviously trade off somebody like Caleb Durbin in that instance, but be able to access somebody like Hamilton plus guys like Harrison and Drowan, who we're really excited about, that hopefully backfill some of the innings from the Freddie Peralta loss, over the course of a season. We think that will help us win more games, and obviously it takes an army of starters to get through a season, and we feel like those guys will certainly help us do that.
Yeah, when we were talking to you and Mark, it was the kudos he gave you is that you have to make the hard decisions. So how hard, I mean, truly, as the human and as the phone call has to go across to the agents and to Freddie and to Caleb, they're what makes that hard?
Oh, just because you care about the guys. I mean, I've known Freddie since he was 18 or 19 years old when we got him, and he's just a great guy. And same with Caleb. You really get to know these guys and who they are, and those are hard. And I'm a fan, and you care about these guys and you want them to be great. I still want them to be great. I hope Caleb has a great year in Boston. I hope Freddie has an unbelievable career. He deserves that. But when we make those phone calls, sometimes honestly they're emotional, and you've just connected with these guys for a long time, but we're trying to do the right thing for the franchise here, and those are hard. Those are tough conversations, tough things to go through, but just trying to do the right thing, and ultimately we felt like those are the right things to do for the franchise. And again, those are hard going out, but then when you start talking to guys like Harrison, who's just so pumped to be here, and Drowan, who's just thrilled to have that opportunity, and David Hamilton, who's thrilled to be back here. Brandon Sprode and Jet Williams just jumping through the phone, how excited they are to be Brewers. That's also really exciting.
Do you get that feedback from the players you're acquiring of understanding, oh my gosh, I'm going to a team that wants to win? Do you think that message has been spread across the league?
I think it has, yeah. And I think when you hear that from the guys about what we're about, and they know that about us and our reputation across the league, that's great. And they know it's going to be competitive, and right now we have, roughly 10 starters for, 5 spots, and there'll be off days where we can manage that accordingly. But honestly, they're excited to compete, and all these guys are really talented, and we're watching them out on the backfields, and, whether it's Drowan or Harrison or Sprode. I mean, we have a lot of excited coaches and people around here. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun competition for everyone.
So I think maybe some people would ask, well, they have so many stars, they have so many arms that are big league ready. How does it fit? Now, you don't forecast injuries, and if it was a perfect world, you'd say, here are the 5 starters, they're all going to throw 250 innings like it was 1985, but that just doesn't happen anymore. So how do you explain the stockpile that you have, and how do you prepare for that dance?
Yeah, I think, look, last year we had, I think, 17 different starters. We used 17 different guys in the rotation, and they're all, we're going to need an army of guys to get through a year. And look, there'll be windows where some of these guys have to move to the bullpen, just like Freddie did when he was young, and Corbin Burns did when he was young, and Brandon Woodruff did when he was young, and so that's okay. A lot of guys develop in that bullpen role, and then they emerge later as starters. And so we also might need to send some guys to AAA to make sure that they're lengthened out and they're available when somebody gets hurt, and we tried to explain that to the guys this week. We had meetings with them individually and tried to lay all these things out for the guys, and they're great. They all want to be a part of it, and whether that's in the front of the game or the middle of the game or the back of the game, they're just happy to be here, and they want to win, which is really cool.
And then you talk about the prospects on the position player front, and you talk about Madej, you talk about Pena, who had a good day yesterday, you talk about acquiring somebody like Jet. How does the baseball ops office view competition? Because look, there's only 2 spots on the left side of the infield in the big league club, and you've got a plethora of guys that can handle it. So how do you guys handle, hey, eventually there's only going to be two guys over there on that left side?
Yeah, I think it's obviously love the competition. When just going back to my time with Tampa Bay, I think when we went to the World Series, I think everybody had been a former shortstop except for Carl Crawford, and so that's one thing to keep in mind, is like, just because you come up as a left side of the diamond guy doesn't mean you'll end up there. It's great if you do, but oftentimes those guys end up at first base, or maybe they end up in the outfield, or they end up at second base. Or you can convert a guy behind the plate. They've seen those too. So just having that versatility with the athleticism to play the left side of diamond gives them a great foundation to just help us somewhere down the road.
When you look at somebody like Madej, and you maybe read external reports on him, and what you have internally, are they different? Are they similar? Are you more excited? Are you less excited versus what versus what the rest of the world knows?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've known Jesus a really long time, and he's a great kid, and I love that he's getting a lot of very well-deserved accolades among the industry, and we like him a lot too. So, whether it's our information or our coaches or our scouts, I mean, everybody's excited. I'm looking at this guy. Yesterday I'm like, could you imagine him at Whitefish Bay High School right now? Like, it would be ridiculous. He's 18 years old. I mean, it's like, wow, that would be pretty amazing. So he'd be pretty good bat in that lineup. But here he is on a big league field and holding his own and doing a really, really nice job at 18 years old, and very impressive. He's built like a tank and super strong and a really good kid too. So love the fact that he's getting very well-deserved accolades, and I think the sky's the limit for him.
We'll get to the big league club in a minute, but to stick with the prospect and the look to the future, how do the windows work of, like, you make the deal for Jet and for Brandon and for Shane and for Hamilton, where it's like, how do the windows work? Like, maybe somebody we confuse for the 2026 team, but your own models and your own projections for now what you have in-house for 27, 28, and 29. How does the weighting work? Like, how do you balance that, or is that just part of the secret sauce that makes the Brewers a Brewers?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any secret sauce. I mean, look, we want to try to be competitive this year, and so you bring in somebody like David Hamilton, who has shown flashes of being good in the big leagues, obviously, and then coming off of a tougher year offensively, but still very, very good defensively, elite base running, and just gets to value in different ways. And then bringing in somebody like Luis Rengifo, who we've liked for a long time, who can help us bridge that gap and is a very talented infielder who we've liked, again, for a long time. So, you don't have to rush the young guys. I think that's important. You don't want to put a guy in a position to fail, and so whether, the next guy up is a Made or a Pratt or a Pena or Brock Wilken or Jet Williams, we don't have to force it, and I think that's the important thing, is that we have guys on the infield right now just anchored by Ortiz and Turang that just give us some time to say, like, hey, if they're not ready, we don't have to force it, and if they are ready, it's a great problem to have.
Back with more Brewers Weekly after this.
Parents can expect to use 2,500 to 3,000 diapers in a baby's first year. The Milwaukee Diaper Mission has distributed over 1.4 million diapers and other supplies for families just last year alone. This is WTMJ's Kristen Bry. Join me for WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. You can be part of it. Text BABY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620, to support our WTMJ Cares effort.
The fact is, without us, you'll pay more. When you buy advertising, unless you're seeking out every avenue that the chosen medium has to offer and negotiating with every entity to find out what the true floor is, there's no way you can know if you really did get your best deal. In fact, there's a big chance that you'll overpay. We've done all the legwork, and with a very high volume of consistent year-in and year-out billing, we've uncovered rates that we're sure will surprise you. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. The proof is in the pudding. Advertisers that hire us stick with us for years and years because they trust us, because we always promptly respond to customer needs, and because, bottom line, we get results. Go to Anderson-Smith.com's Our Clients page to see who trusts us and check out a long list of real advertising success. Then hit the Contact Us button, email me, and I'll call you in short order. Because it's time we grew your business. Anderson-Smith.com.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
It's Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
When you guys offered Brandon Woodruff the qualifying offer, I think it was an understanding from Mark and from, explaining, yes, we still would love him for one more year. Understanding it would be the highest paid pitcher in Brewers franchise history. Was there sort of I don't want to say fear is the right word, but just sort of understanding, like, could this impact the budget if he does agree? And now ultimately he did. How do you guys view the reaction to that?
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely thrilled to have Woody back. I mean, that was something that, we talked a lot about. And when you talk about those types of investments, you want to invest in the right person. And like you said, it's the highest paid pitcher in the history of our franchise. And, over an annual level. And look, he's been nothing but superb. He's pitched on the biggest stage. He's been phenomenal. And to have that support from ownership to do that was great. And it didn't limit us from doing other things as well, and we went out and got some other guys and were able to make some deals to insulate that. But to have that flexibility and support from ownership was super valuable. And I think we're all completely aligned and absolutely thrilled to have Woody back.
The thing that I've been saying on my shows is this shouldn't have been a surprise to people to offer the qualifying offer, given for lack of a more blunt phrasing, or this is a blunt phrasing, it's like you paid him to not pitch for you. Like you paid him to stay within the organization and rehab and understand that there could be a chance that he comes back. And do you think that sometimes us in the media, maybe just fans in general, like, yeah, you admire him that much that you've kept him around these last 3 years, even when he wasn't pitching like he was in 2021?
Yeah, Woody's as good as it gets off the field, and like you said, Dom, it's you have obviously the performance side of this, and you have the human side of this, and Woody does so much for us off the field with his leadership and how he goes about his business, and the way he interacts with everyone is just really special. And when you're moving somebody like Freddie Peralta, obviously, like we talked about earlier, it's certainly challenging, but to know that we have somebody like Brandon Woodruff in the clubhouse really gave us some confidence to do something like that.
So when you look at Christian Yelich's season last year, to see him tap into the superstar talent that he can be, nearly 30 and 100, being a fixture at the DH, he understood what that position took for him this year. And we all know how aging curves work, but it seems like he's really responded well to the back surgery, and getting a full season out of Yelly last year was so important to your club. And I guess the question is expectations and what the rest of this contract could look like for Yelly.
Yeah, same. I mean, like we talked about earlier, having that kind of veteran leadership and just how he goes about his business. And again, the things that Yelly has overcome, I mean, with that back surgery is very real. And he started off a little slow, but the way he finished, throughout the course of the season, like you said, getting to nearly 30 and 100 is super, super impressive. And he's just a really good worker, quiet leader, but will, obviously, lead not only by example, but he'll stripe you if you need it. And I love that about Yelly. I mean, I think he really is a real leader here for our position player group.
Murph said it to us earlier in team meetings. When Yelly speaks, the guys listen. You agree with that statement?
Absolutely. Yeah. When he stands up, it's front and center Christian Yelich, and he's so good at that, and so is Murph, and we have a handful of guys that are really gifted in that regard, and we're certainly lucky to have Christian Yelich as part of this group.
When you look at the rest of this club, I know we say they're young, and they are. I'm not disagreeing with that, but now all of a sudden you've got Turang, who's been around a couple of seasons. You've got Ortiz, like you said, who's been around for a couple of seasons, who you've acquired. Churio now entering his third year, and you're seeing this core maybe as you envisioned 3, 4, 5 years ago. When you look at the core and you look at the offense that you have, specifically from the offensive side of the baseball, do you think that people underrate your offense given how dynamic it was a season ago, or is it not just hitting the ball over the fence?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit. I think you can just get to offense in different ways, and Murph and I have been talking about this. I mean, just the pressure that we apply, with the bunt, with the base running, with the little things that we do, it just brings the infield in a half step, or if it shifts them just a little bit another way, or even if we're applying pressure on the bases, I think that we don't have to just rely on the home run to win games. And we've had teams like that in the past, and kind of an all or nothing group. And I think this group, is more functional in a way where you can hit a backside grounder and drive in a run, or hit a sac fly or a bunt for a base hit. It's a more exciting, dynamic offense overall. And I think it plays to our favor because we have a lot of good athletes. And I think when you put the ball in play, good things can happen.
Do you think that it's a copycat league where eventually we could see speed continue this resurgence, stolen bases, ball in play, or maybe the big boys say, we can afford homers, so we can go get homers?
Yeah, I think certainly it is. I mean, we're looking around the league to see what things we can copy from other teams. So I certainly think that's a thing. But it's not, the idea of having like athletes that can hit is not a new thing. That's an old school Jack Zarenzik type of, scouting approach that I love. And I think, just don't overthink it. Find athletes that can hit. And when you look at our lineup, hopefully we have a bunch of them.
Take me through the process of hiring for coaching, given you did have a lot of changes this year, moving Ricky up to the front office, Jason Lanoff third, Matt Erickson to third. I mean, the list goes on, but, elevating somebody like Spence, elevating and bringing in Vogie. I mean, just take me through how busy it was for job interviews and trying to get to know these guys as quick as possible.
Yeah, we could probably do our own show on just coaching and hiring and all that stuff. It is a lot of fun. I try to spend a lot of minutes with Murph on it. I want to make sure that he has the resources he needs to get through a game, get through a season. And it's a balance. We want to try to connect a lot of information with players and coaches, but you don't want to overwhelm anybody. And so you have to have guys that can understand what's the best way to communicate with the player, what's the best way to communicate with our information, and how to distill that. And I think making sure that Murph just has what he needs to get through the course of the season. And I think trying to put people in a position to succeed is really, really important to us. And so you want people to grow. And a lot of times, like you've seen, even from going from Craig to Murph and beyond that, like the names you pointed out, we've tried to grow from within for the most part. We've tried to promote from within. And I'm really proud of that. We have a really good pipeline, and I'm really excited to have somebody like Spencer Allen, who's been a key part of our franchise for a long time, get the opportunity to work at the big league level, and so many of these other guys that are great and bring their own unique experiences. And hopefully you have a balance, so we're not tilted too far in one direction, that it's just a nice group of perspectives that hopefully lead us to the best decisions possible.
Yeah, I was talking to Nick Stanley last week, Appleton manager this year, where you can see it in the minor leagues as a manager, as a coach, like, well, okay, Hookie was pitching director, and, Jim Henderson worked his way up, Greeny worked his way up, or it's like, just as rewarding as it is for players to make it to the show, you give an incentive and a reward to stick it out and stay within this organization. How do you cultivate that? How do you keep that going?
Yeah, I mean, Nestor, Matt Erickson, Jason Lane's been here for a decade. I'm proud of that. I think it is great, and obviously there are going to be guys that get opportunities to go elsewhere, and that's great for them too. And I think we want to try to keep, we're loyal people. We want to have people around that are good and take good care of them. And we've had support from Mark Attanasio and his family to do that. And Murph is about making sure that we have the best coaching staff in the league, and I think that's really important, and I love our group.
More Brewers Weekly coming up on WTMJ.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well,
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
When you look at your team and you look at your division, we talked about the prognosticators right at the top. It's just like, 83, 81 wins, like they always seem to predict. And you project better than that. How do you view the rest of the division? I mean, I think clearly, as opposed to this time last year, where you can say, yeah, maybe the Pirates got better. Pirates got better. Cubs got better. Cardinals are in a transition phase, obviously, but the Reds made the playoffs last year, shocking, a lot of people. So you're the team that has the target on the back, no matter what, maybe the national media says, like, oh, it's the Cubs division to lose. Like, you're the ones who have the pennant for the last 3 years. How do you view the rest of the division chasing you?
Yeah, I think I certainly don't take our division lightly. I mean, we had 3 teams in the division go to the playoffs last year. That was a really tough division, and the Cubs were tough and they took us to the end. heck of a series and thrilled that we won. But those guys are really good, and they always play us tough. And like you said, the other teams in the division, I think, are, whether it's the Cardinals or maybe transitioning a little bit, but all these other teams have gotten better, meaningfully, and they're still coming for us, and that's okay. That's how it goes, and we're not putting our feet up comfortable just winning the division 3 years in a row. I mean, we want to continue to get better, and we've certainly focused on that this off season, and we're going to be ready for these guys, and I recognize that we have a target on our back, and I'm comfortable with that. It's probably a good place to be. I'd rather be us than them at different points, but look, those guys are really talented. They're very well run organizations. They do a really good job, and so we're just going to have to be ready for it.
So when people, we kind of do this exercise in the media where it's like, did they get better, yes or no, in the offseason? Maybe some people would pause and say they don't know if you got better. How do you respond to that question?
Yeah, look, I think if you look at where we were a year ago and now, I think one of the things that I feel really good about is just the depth of arms that we have right now. And I don't know who's going to emerge from this group, but I feel like when you look around the room and you see the guys on the left wall there there are some really fun, exciting young arms there, and probably in a better place than I can recall, to be honest, right? And I want to knock on wood when I say that because I don't want to jinx anything, but look, I think we have a really, really strong group of arms, and then a really dynamic offense, and I think especially with some young guys that are coming, and then hopefully getting a full and healthy year out of Brandon Woodruff on top of that, I feel like we are going to be very competitive this year.
So let's put a bow on 2025, though. And I know you're friends with Andrew Friedman. You guys have known each other for a very long time. How long did it take for a phone call, for a text, for maybe even a congratulations to him after the World Series, after what happened in the NLCS?
Yeah, I mean, I saw him after our game in LA, so I got to connect with him on the field there, and obviously we talked during the World Series, and just throughout his process, and we've been friends for a really long time, and care about him a lot. Want to continue fighting with him and beat those guys, obviously, but he's a dear friend, and obviously learned a lot from him, and he's very, very talented. Those guys have done a heck of a job over there, and so we've stayed close and connected even this spring, and we're going to get dinner in a couple days, and he's just a really good friend, and but still, once the gloves come off and we're on the field, and want to beat those guys for sure. So we have our eye on beating those guys, and really every team. We don't want to make it personal, but we're trying to win a World Series here.
How do you take it? Like when it goes 0-4, no one, obviously the odds were stacked against you, and I'm not going to try to sit here and say that like, oh, you had no chance. You absolutely had a chance to compete against the best. Everybody wants to beat the best. Like, how do you wear it and just sit there and say, how fast does that ignite again? Like, all right, let's just get back here and do it again.
Yeah. It's a car crash. It's not just there's no off ramp. There's just like, this is it. And it hurts a lot, and it's excruciating. And so, really painful. There's no way to sugarcoat that. Like it is, everything that you work, you invest your whole life in and make sacrifices for it. You want to try to be successful, and we're all super competitive here. So to lose at the end and not win the last game of the season is tough, especially when you feel like you're so close. But you got to get back on the horse, and I feel like we have a group that is tough and resilient. And I think that one of the best things about our group is that we're not comfortable. We're not just going to sit here and say this is good enough. We made it to the NLCS. That's great. Like, no, that's not my approach at all. I want to try to get to the World Series. I want to try to win a World Series, and so we just have to figure out what do we need to do to get there. And I can tell you it's tough, but that's the first thing we focus on right on the flight back from LA. It's you open up the laptop and say, all right, what do we need to do to get over the hump?
So it's your fourth year at the top of the organization chart on the baseball ops side. What have you learned over the years, even as being somebody underneath David to now, running an operation that, even going back to your Rays days and your long baseball history, that maybe you've learned now that it took until entering year 4 to understand how this truly works in charge?
I'm still learning. I really am. Like, I think if you have it all figured out, you're in trouble. My dad used to tell me that, the second you think you have all the answers, like you're probably in big trouble. And so I take that very seriously. I want to continue to challenge our guys. Whether it's bringing in new front office talent or new on-field talent or just learning. I think that the most important thing for me, I'm listening to podcasts in the morning on the way over here to the ballpark. I want to try to learn. I want to continue to get better. I want to ask questions. I want to be curious and see how does this work, because I think once the game is moving so fast that you have to keep learning, and so I think for me, that is just something that I'm constantly focused on, is being surrounded by great people, continuing to challenge myself and others here to be great.
What are you most proud of so far? I mean, as the guy in charge in these last 4 years?
Man, I mean, there's a lot to be proud of. It certainly I think the people, the culture, it starts and ends with people, and certainly I think people outside the organization will judge us on wins. And I think that's fair, and I think that's right. But I also want to be known as a franchise that cares about people, that cares about the community, that cares about Milwaukee and who we are more than anything else. And so I'm proud of the group that we are.
I know it takes time and it's difficult to do what you guys do on a yearly basis, continue to exceed expectations. But are you surprised maybe other small market teams haven't been able to do what you do? Do you think, I'm not trying to point out individual teams, but some teams just kind of throw their hands in the air and say, we can't compete with this, where you guys go the other direction and go straight into the storm? Why do you think that you guys get to be, I mean, is it the people about being the poster child of small market success in a dog-eat-dog world?
I do believe it's the people, it's the culture, it's process, it's the human element, sort of partnering that with the analytical side of things, and just being able to blend a lot of this stuff together, and it's not just following a model. It's not just looking at a number on a piece of paper. It's how do we convert that into the human side of our sport, because there are people out there playing this game, and I think that's really challenging. And our group does a great job. We have a really, really talented staff. Our coaches, our front office guys are great. And, it's just, for me, it's just about how do we continue to push forward and ultimately bring a championship to Milwaukee.
So then I always try to ask guys who have been in the game as long as you have been, what's your favorite part about the game, about the job, about being able to come to the ballpark? And your literal job description in the most simplest form is to win baseball games.
It is, yeah. I think my favorite part of the job is I mean, there's so many different great parts of the job. I mean, there are some challenging parts of the job, certainly, but there's so many great. When I get to sit there and I have a different conversation with somebody every single day that I'm like in awe of. Whether it's Robin Yount or Rick Sweet, who's going to win. He's close to passing the all-time record for wins for a minor league manager all time, and I worked with him back in Cincinnati, 20 years ago. And he was just, giving me grief for not coming to see him in Nashville last year. And I remember sitting in his clubhouse when he was in Louisville as a manager forever ago. And he's like, you came to see me more then than you do now, and it's like, it's just great to have those kind of connections with somebody that's just a really, really good baseball person, and I would have just been so tickled pink as a kid to be able to have those kind of opportunities to do that, and I still am, and I think it's a lot of fun.
This is going to be a fun year, and I think when I look at the 2026 Milwaukee Brewers, I see a very similar style team to last year. You knock on all the wood in the world for health and for the depth that you guys have stockpiled, but at the end of the day, you feel that the work is done, right? You feel like we talked about earlier, like you got better and you were trusting your process in my eyes, like maybe more than you ever have. You're really trusting everyone that you have in this organization right now.
Yeah, I think we're bringing back the core of the team for the most part. Obviously, there's some big pieces that we had to move, but I think we've shifted that to value in different ways, and I do think that we're going to be competitive this year and led by Pat Murphy every single night with his mentality of win tonight. I love that. I love that about Murph and who he is, and he's just he's a competitor, at his core, and I think we all are. I think that's the great thing about our group is that we're not afraid of a fight with a big market team or anybody really. I think that's what makes it great, and we're not going to back down from anybody. So we're ready for the fight, and I think we're going to be really competitive again this year.
Well, thank you for the time as always for us here on the flagship station, and this has become an annual tradition, and put another pennant, maybe even a bigger one, hopefully, when we're doing this conversation next year.
I hope so, man. Appreciate you. Thanks.
Back with more Brewers Weekly after this.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. If you're trying to work, juggle life, and keep your dog happy at the same time, look, I get it. We're the same way. Thankfully, we found the Hounds and Tap for doggy daycare for our Greyhound Knight. It's been a game changer for us. He gets exercise, time to socialize with other dogs. We know Knight's in great hands at the Hounds and Tap. They even take care of his grooming during his visits or separate appointments. That's perfect for us. If you're like us and searching for top-tier services and a team you can trust, get connected at thehoundsandtap.com.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me, not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem, and I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who'll tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
This is Brewers Weekly on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that conversation. Welcome back. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. That's only half of the conversations you're going to hear today. You know, we're going to have a longer break here at the top of the hour, and then, of course, we have the top of our news as well. But then once we re-rack off of that, you're going to hear William Contreras talking about his brother, talking about the World Baseball Classic. We're going to talk to Joey Ortiz, also talking World Baseball Classic, because both of those guys and Bryce are leaving this week, and a handful of other guys, Rob Zastryzny, Tyler Black. Tyler, how about with Tyler? He's, 7 for his 11 this week in spring training, another triple shy of the cycle, or a homer shy of the cycle today. He's been on fire. Team Canada's fired up to see that for him in the World Baseball Classic, avenging his gold medal match loss to the men's hockey team, and women for that matter. But then you've got all these WBC guys leaving, so that's when I think we're going to start seeing more of Jet Williams, and we're going to start seeing more of the kind of movement around. We're going to see more. I don't want to say Madej is going to be starting or Pena is going to be starting. We've been seeing them enter the ends of games lately, but you heard us talk about Jesus, and honestly, as I sit here and think about yesterday's game for Jesus Madej, he had a misplay defensively, and I still want to see more from him defensively specifically, and maybe it'll be easier for him once he gets back into minor league camp and working on it every single day. I listen to the prognosticators that say that he can stick at shortstop. From my own eyes, it'd be great. I don't see that happening. The thing that when you see Jesus Madej for the first time, he's way more built than I expected. He is strong and lower, like baseball strong, as in lower half, fast hands, broad shoulders, and he turns 19 in a couple weeks. Like, think about that. Like Matt said, like, imagine him being a senior at Whitefish Bay High School last year, and he reached AA. You know, it doesn't compute, and I'm excited to see more of him. I always make a point during spring training, get as close as I can to the field, get on the backfields, and watch from behind home or watch from field level, because you get a real sense of the speed of the game and the talent that these guys have. And Madej has it. We talk about it like it gets thrown around a little too much, like it's a cliche, you know? But when we talk about it, air quotes, it, he's got it. I really do believe it. And so does Pena. I think Pena has developed, I'm kind of putting this into the ether, so I'm fleshing out this take as I speak. I think Pena has developed a little bit of the chip on his shoulder. Pena's also a top 30 prospect. Don't put any disrespect on him. Now, he is more positionless than Madej is, but maybe, I mean, shoot, we all thought Ryan Braun was going to be a third baseman, right? And look how that worked out. So you never know what's going to happen defensively, but man, if you can hit, you're always going to have a job. So Pena is also very impressive. And I'm excited for Cooper Pratt to get a few more reps here, because the Brewers want to see him against top-notch competition. We've talked so much about Brock Wilken throughout this camp, and he had a homer the other day, and he'll probably get some more playing time here moving forward. So the way I see it, the Brewers are in this position because of their pride, and I don't want to call it arrogance, but belief and just absolutely trusting the system that they have put in place. And I've said it on a few shows before, and I'll repeat it. It's that the reason why these projections, Pacoda, Fangraphs, whatever you may use, continue to undervalue the Brewers is because these projections don't give a lot of respect to rookies. And the Brewers obviously rely on rookies and second-year players almost more than anybody. Especially, I should say, they rely on their first and second-year players more than most competitive teams, like teams that are expected to win. And the way that I see it, the Brewers are a team that just kind of say, you can do this too. Why don't you? Invest in your minor league side. Invest in your coaches. Invest in the things that can give you a return on that investment. Churio coming up through the Dominican system. Gord Ash was walking through the clubhouse the other day. We had a chance to catch up with Gord. They're putting some finishing touches on what they've got down there in the Dominican, but you can already see the fruits of that labor, of that investment that started before the pandemic, right? And for Gord to see that over the finish line, I'm happy for him and the entire Brewers organization, because you're starting to see it really pop up here for the Brewers. So we got a whole nother hour here on the program. And again, it's mostly taped. So if you're in the text line, if you're in the live chat, appreciate you guys being here. But I mean, today is more about listening from the guys. And a reminder, everything's in Brewers All Access, wherever you get your podcasts, and you can listen to these all in order as they were rolled out here. So in this second hour, like we just said, William Contreras, Joey Ortiz, and then a longer interview with Sal Frelick that I really enjoyed chatting with Sal today after practice. And just a great head on his shoulders, understands the game so well. If he wants to be, he would be a great manager. But I don't think he needs to be. I just see a dude, I mean, he can go in the media if he wants to. I just love picking his brain. And he's not the only one in this clubhouse, just baseball sicko. And some great stuff in there about Yelly, about player development, about the Brewers in 2025, and what made that group click and how much fun they had. So we're going to re-rack it here at the top of the hour. We've got a longer break here, and then the top of our news. And then we'll be back in about 10 minutes or so and get you ready for the World Baseball Classic. It's here. It starts next week, and there will be plenty of Brewers involved. And in fact, there's a Team Mexico versus Team USA battle coming up. I believe that's on March 9th down in Houston. So maybe we should form some watching parties for that one. All right, let's get ready to take a break here. And on the other side of the top of our news, we'll chat with William Contreras. Wild Bill got a big year ahead, getting ready for the WBC. Stay with us on 620 WTMJ.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Milwaukee police launched an internal investigation into the handling of information linked to allegations of sexual assault against the president of the Wisconsin Center District.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been arrested. The brother of King Charles, who was stripped of his royal titles due to his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, was arrested in the UK on charges of misconduct while in public office.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the President's Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big bucks on top brands like Bradenton Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradenton Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Yours brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the President's Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life, rejuvenate.
So it's all too common of a story. And it's common enough that we account for a certain percentage of our new patients to make their first appointment and get cold feet. They put it off. I'm not sure why, because our physicians are offering legitimate medical pain relief treatment. The combination of hyaluronic acid and Toradol cushions joints and has an extremely powerful effect in reducing inflammation. So much so that a vast majority of Rejuvenex patients report a significant improvement with their pain. I guess it's human nature. But sometimes human nature keeps us in our comfort zone, even when it means remaining living in pain. So after you make your appointment to alleviate your pain, and that little voice tries to convince you to put it off, don't, because your pain problems can be solved, and you can live a better life.
Rejuvenate. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today, and there's a good chance we could be seeing you tomorrow.
So many emails coming in, this trip will sell out. Vince Vitrano here, Vinny's European Vacation. Would love to have you join us in October, traveling to southern Italy and Sicily with WTMJ and Colette Vacations. Our tour begins in Palermo, Sicily, happens to be where my dad's family is from. He's coming on the trip as well. Agrigento, Sorrento, Amalfi Coast, Positano, Pompeii, and we end in Rome. Nothing you need to do except sign up and show up, as my team at Colette has thought of and taken care of everything. I'll send you a brochure with a breakdown of each day on the trip, all the sites, sign-up information, and even your all-in cost and options. Email me, vince@WTMJ.com. That's vince@WTMJ.com. We've got a special get-together here at the station coming up as well. You can meet me, talk with all the folks at Colette. That's coming up on March 24th.
Let me show you the world. Come away with me.
Vince@WTMJ.com, Southern Italy and Sicily this fall.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock, it's 32 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 32. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. Bond is set at $2 million for the man accused of murdering his girlfriend in Wisconsin and then leaving her body in Michigan.
29-year-old Robert Chilcote faces one felony charge of first-degree intentional homicide in the death of his girlfriend, 24-year-old Gabriela Cartagena of Marinette. Prosecutors allege that Cartagena went missing on February 4th after her mom received a phone call where she heard her daughter saying, quote, "Please don't shoot me." Chilcote was arrested the following day in Minnesota. Cartagena's remains were found a week later in Menominee County, Michigan. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
A state Senate Special Oversight Committee is looking into the Wisconsin Department of Justice and its use of special prosecutors.
Hours of testimony from Attorney General Josh Kaul centered on the DOJ's use of legal fellows from New York University. Republicans claim those attorneys have an agenda and influence the department's decisions on environmental cases. State Senator Mary Felskowski.
And this committee is going to review testimony, and we're going to look at what should be changed statutorily, if we need to change anything.
Kaul says his office did nothing wrong, and the fellows allowed the DOJ to do more work.
I think it is clear from what we have seen so far that report is going to be partisan, slanted, and cannot be taken seriously.
Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
A final report from the committee will be released in April. Research by UW-Madison confirms that salt brine is a more useful tool to keep roads cleared during winter weather. The study found salt brine helps with traction and is more safe for the environment compared to rock salt. Sauk County Highway Commissioner Pat Kavinsky.
Anti-ice or pre-wet brine system that's applied directly to the road. And what that does is put that salt right on the pavement itself. Again, it buys us a little more time to get out on the roadway. That salt material is there to keep the snow and ice from bonding to the road so that we can plow it off.
The DOT says all 72 counties in Wisconsin use some amount of salt brine during winter weather. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 9:02.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets, something that can positively affect your mood, getting organized and clearing out the clutter. A well-rounded closet could be the most powerful room in your home. Inspired Closets can transform your closets or laundry room, your pantry, any space in your house. What separates Inspired Closets from the others? Their 3D design software and a culture that promises to build what you want and need. Call my friends Katie and Dan today, a wife-husband team ready to help. Inspired Days start in Inspired Closets, inspiredclosetsmilwaukee.com.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Recalculating route. Estimated arrival time. Never.
For people with nasal congestion, snoring, or sleep apnea, finding a solution feels like a never-ending road trip.
First stop, my primary doctor. Then the pharmacy. Then a sleep specialist. Then an ENT.
What if there was just one destination for all your problems?
Welcome to Advent, Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care in one location. Over 95% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
You have arrived at Clear Breathing.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Brewers defeated the Rangers 5-1 this afternoon in Cactus League play. Tomorrow they take on the Chicago White Sox at 2:10. The Bucks' 4-game homestand continues Friday night. Tomorrow night against the New York Knicks. Doc Rivers' Bucks are surging while Giannis continues to rehab a calf strain.
8 out of 10 is phenomenal with this group. With no Giannis, you take that all day.
The Bucks are 1 game out of playoff position in the Eastern Conference playoff race with 25 games to play. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Mostly clear on the roads right now. No major incidents and no slowdowns. Time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 32. Friday, mostly sunny, windy, and very mild, a high of 60. On Saturday, light snow is likely, looking at a total of 1 to 2 inches of snow, a high of 30. Sunday, mostly cloudy and chilly, a high of 28. Monday, partly cloudy skies, a high of 34. Right now in Madison, it's 30 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 30. In Waukesha, it's 31. And in Milwaukee, it's 32 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:06.
On the field, inside the clubhouse, and everything in between. This is Brewers Weekly. Here's Dominic Cotroneo.
Let's keep on rolling, talking Brewers here on this Thursday night. Lots of interviews. You just heard from Matt Arnold. You're going to hear from Sal Frelick and Joey Ortiz in a moment. But first, let's talk to the best catcher in baseball, right? This is William Contreras speaking with myself and Adam McCalvey. Adam's working on a great story right now in junction with the Red Sox and Wilson, talking about as they prepare for the World Baseball Classic, what it means to them as brothers, what it means to play in the WBC, and how excited he simply is to finally get the chance to share the field with his older bro by 5 years. So here's our own affectionately known Wild Bill.
Because our Red Sox person talked to your brother about how excited he is about the World Baseball Classic, and you played together at the All-Star game. Besides that, when have you ever played together?
Never. That was the only time, 2022 in LA. We played together. Now I hope to play in the Sun Lineup this year, like in the baseball classic. One day, this year.
Have you guys talked about that as this is an opportunity to?
Oh yeah. He told me, I don't know, last year he would like to finish his career with me, like, I don't know, 2, 3, or 4 years when he's gonna retire. He loved to play with me 1 year, and we see that we can do it.
Did you ever play like in an older age division, like to try to play with him, or was it always separate?
Never, always separate. Always playing different things. We never played together. Saying that when we was young, it's 5 years older than me, so it's big difference.
Yeah, even Sandlot.
Yeah.
Little kids.
Nothing.
Never.
We played maybe in the street, something like baseball street, but nothing like baseball, like team, something like that.
You've always told us how much you respect him. How has your relationship changed now that you aren't a little kid? You are Silver Slugger and All-Star, and you're established.
He always like tell me like he's really appreciate what I did, because I think he always worked for me. He always give me like, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that, something like, because like I said, it's 5 years different. So when I passed for rookie, he passed like 3 years ago. So he knows how is the baseball. And he's played me every time, and I think I'm a good player, so he have to be happy with it.
Does he still give you advice?
Yeah.
Even though you're an all-star?
Every time, no. I'm the young guy, yeah? I'm the young in the family. I have to hear what my family say, especially if he's older than me.
Do you think that will ever change?
No. It's like for me, it's always going to be the number one for me. In advice and baseball for me, it's my brother. So we play together. When we cross the line, it's like enemy, but it's the baseball.
Yeah.
We play to win, so.
Can you tell me about how proud it is, like Venezuelan catchers? Salvi, obviously, you're going to be teammates with him. Your brother, you, the list goes on. Like, it feels there's something where Salvi.
I mean, you see like Salvi, Wilson, myself is really good. I mean, we have many catchers. We have Gabriel Moreno, we have plenty more catchers. I really appreciate what Omar Lopez say about me, like to be in the baseball classic, and I'm gonna do my best there.
Was it ever in question if you would get to play?
No.
It wasn't?
No.
You, even with the Brewers, were they nervous?
No.
I mean, it's... No? Are you sure?
No, never. I mean, I don't think too much. I know you guys look at me always in the clubhouse. I don't never have a pressure or something like that. But maybe, feel like in your head, but we don't demonstrate like that thing.
Do you think you will all split time, or do you think you'll catch a lot?
I'm going to catch it with Salvi. My brother going to play first baseman DH. If something happens with me or Salvi, Wilson going to catch. It's the third catcher, I think.
Yeah, that's a pretty good trio.
Yeah, really good.
Really good.
How do you feel, just forget the part about your brother, how do you feel getting to do this for your country?
I feel great. It's not easy to do it. It's not easy to be in that team. It's not easy to be one of the best players in the country. That's what I feel. Because if they tell me I have to catch it, it's because I'm good. I'm doing good my job. But I really appreciate to my family, to Brewers, to give me the opportunity to be there. And like I said, I'm gonna be my best.
Is there anything for the team, as far as everyone back home, trying to give something positive to root for back home, or is it just sort of, we love baseball, it's what we do?
No, we love baseball. That's it.
Yeah, I wondered if it was more, if it meant something more because of recent things that have happened in Venezuela.
No,
this brings people together.
Yeah, we're gonna do. If we win or we lose, we're gonna play for Venezuela, no matter what. So we're gonna play 100% everybody, and I think they're gonna be really good team, really good baseball classics.
Can you go back to when you were little? What was your brother like? Was he hard on you? Was he support? Like, what was it?
He always was hard for me. And right now he did, but like not that hard, but like advised me like a lot. Hey, don't do this, don't do that. I did it. I don't want to do it too, like something like that. Like he don't want me to be like saying what happened with him and then start the career.
And what part of your game now comes from him?
Come from what?
What part of what you do really can you say that's because of him?
Everything. I mean, work hard.
Yeah.
I think if you work hard, you're gonna be good. That's my plan, my goals when I come here for spring training or something. I'll be gonna be in the weight room, training room, and doing my best. And when the people say play ball, I'm gonna play.
What time do you get here now?
6:30.
Oh, that's late.
Not bad.
No,
it's not bad. Yeah. They don't want me to get more early.
Yeah.
So now,
lock you out?
Now the baseball players have to rest or something like that. It's different old school.
Yeah.
Always 4, 5 a.m. But they don't want me to get too early.
And they won't give you a key?
No, nothing. I'm going to stay in the parking lot.
I'm curious, did you ever grow up like hearing like, oh, you're Wilson's little brother, not William? Like, is there ever an edge of like, I want to be Will? Yeah.
I think the last time I feel like that was in 2024. Even I got 2022 really good year, and 2024 days, hey, younger brother Wilson. I mean, I feel good, but I want to like people say, hey, William Contreras, not like Wilson, And now I can feel like somebody, everybody know me. Nobody know me like we some brothers. But now, really good. Really appreciate that.
Really do appreciate William doing that interview with Adam and I, and especially so doing it in English. I mean, he does a handful of interviews in English. I do always want to commend when guys take the time to speak to us in their second language. I really do appreciate William for doing that. So kudos to you, Wild Bill. Good luck with Venezuela. Up next, let's go south of the border. Viva Mexico. Half of my blood. It's funny. I was explaining this to Cole Tucker, who was in the building the other day for MLB Network Radio, 30 Clubs, 30 Days, where he played on one of the under 18 Team USA teams back before he was a Pirates prospect, and now he's in the media side. And also, Vanessa Hudgens' husband, which is a pretty good job as well. But I was explaining to Cole, I would have had eligibility in 3 different teams. Team USA, obviously, Team Mexico, and Team Italy, which would have been really cool if I was good at baseball instead of holding a microphone. But we'll talk to Joey Ortiz, the presumed starting shortstop of Team Mexico, and it's going to be a rockin' pool down in Houston. Joey's up next on 620 WTMJ.
Back with more Brewers Weekly after this.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me.
She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem. And I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who'll tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
This is Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Welcome back on Brewers Weekly. Don Cotroneo with you. Joey Ortiz joining the show now. Welcome back to Brewers Camp, man. And you're about to depart. How excited are you for Team Mexico? And when that call came in, the emotions, and now that it's finally near, how are you feeling?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're excited to represent Mexico, and was lucky enough to be able to join the team. It was a great time, or a great team last year, and the team looks even better this year. So, it'll be exciting to get playing some meaningful games early this spring.
How soon was it on your radar that this could be a possibility? Conversations, I imagine, have to start pretty quickly in the off season, but then when you sit down and you get the offer and you talk with your family and you talk with your team, like, this is an opportunity you can't miss, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had been wanting to do it since the last one. So to be able to, get this opportunity this year is going to be, pretty special. It's an honor, to be able to represent a country and, put that country's name on your chest. It'll be pretty special.
So when we look at your goals for spring training, at least before you depart, is it different? Is it sort of like a little more accelerated, or do you feel like you'll have enough adequate time, even when you get back, to be ready for not only WBC, but for the season?
No, yeah, I mean, I feel like getting involved in these WBC games early are going to get me kind of ready to go for the season. That was also another big reason why I wanted to do it, just because, I felt like it was just going to get me in more full like game situations. Not that spring doesn't do that, but, it can be not as similar to like season games, but I think these WBC games will be more like playoff, type atmosphere, so it's going to be pretty cool.
So taking into that, I think people misunderstand, like, spring training reps are just different than what they are. Obviously, you said playoff atmosphere, but it's not like you're not getting work done in spring training. Can you just explain the difference a little bit?
Yeah, of course. I mean, spring training, you should still be taking every game like it's a normal, regular season game or playoff game, but I think it's more so just the feel of it, the vibe of it might be a little slower than what a regular in playoff game would be. And I feel like, during the season, the playoffs and stuff like that, the game moves so fast that it's kind of hard to replicate during spring. But I mean, spring is, I feel like, the time to, work on things you need to work on to be ready for the season, to play 162, to get your body right, get it ready to go, and all that stuff comes into play.
So what have you learned about making adjustments at the big league level? Obviously, it's been really good first half of your rookie year with the Brewers, and right now you're going through it a little bit. So what do you go into the offseason like, I got to shut this thing down and go all the way over, or take me through the step-by-step of wanting to be a better player?
I think a lot of it is just being more consistent. Even last year I still had my moments where, I know I can be the player that I'm capable of. I know I can be better than what I've done, for sure. Like, I have no doubt in that at all. I think a lot of it is just having the confidence to be able to go out there and, play well and excel every day. And that's my goal, of course. I just want to be more consistent this year, whatever that means. Just want to be able to, be a threat at the plate, really. I mean, that was the big thing this last, season, was kind of felt like it was a lull when I come up to hit for whatever reason, just not swinging at the right pitches, or just not having good at bats. And I think the mentality going into this year is just have quality at bats, put good swings on the ball, and get pitches I know I can handle.
I mean, even from July and August, there were stretches where you were kind of tapping back into yourself. I feel even the end of the season was stronger than I think maybe the final season line looks. Was there a difference that you felt at some point, like, all right, I'm feeling like myself again, I'm feeling like what I know I'm capable of?
I think it was more so just getting in certain reps. I think a lot of my issues were mechanical stuff, and that's what I worked on this off season to be able to be ready for spring and try and fine-tune everything. But I think a lot of it was just mechanics, and then later in the year, the confidence. I always feel confident in myself. You gotta have confidence, or else you just beat before the game even starts. So yeah, I think a lot of it was just mechanical stuff that I worked on this offseason.
What are you excited for now? And you're back, you're a familiar clubhouse now. A lot of this core, you get a Keystone partner with Rice, obviously up the middle, and understanding that, hey, this team consistently wins and surprises people, given maybe what the expectations were when you were first traded to the Brewers a couple years ago to now what's actually played out.
Yeah, I mean, we're here to win. I feel like we get the same type of, projections every year where they don't expect us to do much, and then, we exceed those. And, I don't want to say surprise people, because I feel like the Brewers do the same thing every year, and they just win. They find ways to win, and we find ways to win. And I don't think it's going to be much different this year. We're going to find a way to win, find a way to be, the best team in the division, and hopefully the league again. And we're going to fight for all 162.
Well, best of luck in the World Baseball Classic. Viva Mexico, and stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Appreciate it.
Joey Ortiz, good dude, handles the hard questions well. He wants a great year. You want him to have a great year, and the Brewers want him to have a great year. So let's hope for the best for him. I think it'll be super fun. Up next, let's start talking to everyone's fan favorite, the man with the flow, the Italian stallion, whatever you want to call him. Your pal and mine, it's Sal Frelick, next on 620 WTMJ.
Catch more Brewers Weekly coming up on WTMJ.
Have you ever thought about what makes Wisconsin great? I mean the things that really make it great. It's, of course, the people, and that's very true. It's also the places, it's the experiences, it's the downtowns and the food. It's the awesome places we have to stay. On Experience Wisconsin, each week we dive into all of that, giving you a roadmap for the cool things to do in our state. On this week's show, it is Lake Geneva that we check out, and we'll talk to the Travel Secretary, Ann Sayers. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1 on WTMJ.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on, and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
It's Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
The man they call the hit collector. He was flirting with the batting title in the National League for a lot of last season. We talked a little bit about last year's crew. And at one point in this interview, Sal Frelick and I were interrupted by, of course, his manager, Pat Murphy, who we opened this interview with because Murph gave me a question to ask him in this podcast, so I thought it was a great way to lead off the show. So next few parts of this podcast, we're listening to Brewers right fielder Sal Frelick. Okay, I got a listener request for you, listener question to start us off.
Nice.
What's up with the unnecessary dives from 1P Murphy?
So is the unnecessary question from Pat?
I mean, it's just P Murphy. I don't know.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Well, number one rule of outfield is catch a ball. So if I drop it while I'm diving, then he can tell me to stay on my feet. But if I catch it, he can't say that.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that relationship off the top, man, because you guys talk so much smack to each other, but it's all out of love, right? You guys have a really unique relationship for player-manager.
Yeah, all out of love. I mean, I think he knows he can kind of go pretty hard on me just because I can take it. And two, I think physically, like on the field, when he's tough on me, I know it'll make me better, and I think he knows that too. So, yeah.
When you learned that it was going to be Murph, and this is obviously you were so new to the organization, at least at the big league level, and then it's like whiplash, like, all right, Counts is gone, Murph, who I knew, and we all know the joke, we all know the story, we don't need to repeat it, but just like, did you have like is this going to be different? What were your reactions when Murph first got the job to what it is now?
No, honestly, I pretty much expected exactly what I've gotten from Murph. I mean, aside from the success, not that I didn't think that, but just like I knew what we were going to get in the clubhouse, I knew what we were going to get on field, like him keeping it light, and then when the game starts, like, you know, being in the box with us and stuff like that. Like, I feel like we knew what we were going to get. So not crazy surprised by how it's gone so far.
When you've learned about the Brewers way, and like when you get drafted to like how much has passed since then, to now envision this team that plays like your style of baseball from like the moment you've stepped on a field, isn't it kind of cool to see a big league club? Like, people probably thought this wasn't possible like 6-7 years ago to have a bunch of athletes that are speed-based, contact-based, kind of like yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you know, definitely not, especially when I got drafted, and you kind of look around the league while you're in the minors and you're like, you know, do I kind of have to switch something up here? Like, and I think I was just fortunate enough to be drafted to an organization that, and I'm guessing is also one of the reasons why they drafted me, where they kind of had that vision early. And I mean, I think going back 4 or 5 years started to say, hey, this is the brand of baseball we want to play. And, you know, I really don't think I would have gone through the minors as fast as I did, or, you know, whatnot, if I was in any other organization who maybe didn't value that type of player. So super grateful to be here. And I think it's just awesome too that, you know, we go out and show everyone we can win games playing this way. And yeah.
Part of playing that way, it takes a toll on your body. I mean, how much were you really dealing with at the very end of the year of just the grind of a season? 162 is one thing in itself, but you were playing hurt at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I always say there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. Like, if you're hurt, you play. You know, if you're injured, that's something else. You should be on the injured list. So we had 26 guys playing hurt. Like, everyone in the playoffs is pretty much playing hurt. Like, guys got bumps and bruises, guys got nicks and whatnot, and you just you play through that stuff. And I mean, I definitely think you feel it a lot more in September.
Yeah.
But I mean, once playoff starts, you're 100%. Like, even if you're a little banged up, you're tired, it's just not a thing, because once you take the field in that situation, you have so much adrenaline, like, you're 100%.
When does it hit you in the offseason, though? If just like, whoa, I was like, wow, like you crashed for like 3 straight days, or what is like the day of the come down like?
Yeah, I mean, you get back home and, you know, you get back to your own bed, whatnot, and get back in your routine for the off season. And, you know, you're probably waking up in the mornings for the first week or two after the season, like feeling some aches and pains, but it's nothing crazy. I mean, that's what being an athlete is. Every sport endures that at the end of a season. Doesn't matter, you know, what you're playing, golf, football, hockey, like, doesn't matter. Everyone, that's just how it goes. And again, everyone's going to be hurt, but injured is what you obviously want to avoid.
Well, we've talked so much about what you've been able to do for your body and what you've been able to do to make it through a season. Do you feel like, A, we overreacted as members of the media, and B, do you think it's gone as you had hoped, like to put on the muscle, to put on the mass that you put on, to have it stick into what you want to carry with into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got a ton of questions about like if I was healthy or whatnot, as if maybe I like had this like big surgery or something, and I was like, no, yeah, I'm fine. Like I had to go home. Everybody you rehab what was banged up, and then you get better. That's what the off season's for. So I definitely think it was a pretty normal off season for me. Just you're rehabbing different things and getting stronger. So, but yeah, I mean, putting on the weight is obviously something that I've been trying to do the past 2 years. I think last year was the first real year I was able to like do a ton that off season with really focused on adding good weight, just building it in for a long season. Like I'm gonna lose weight regardless if what I do just from playing every day. So just making sure I go in at a pretty good weight so that when I do lose it, I'm not frail.
I think people are kind of caught by surprise by that like baseball players lose weight during the season. Heaven forbid you become a catcher, then you can really talk about catchers, what they go through. But how long did it take you to learn that? I mean, like, obviously a baseball season in the minors is different than a baseball season in the show, but it's just that you come up, with respect, like, a little skinnier. Like, I mean, you were going through it. How different are you feeling, like, at the end of, like, a 21 or a 22 season versus what you are the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, even, like, first off, like, in college, you're playing 50 games in a season. Yeah. You have 3 games in a row on the weekend, and, like, that's the most you're playing in a row. And then right after that, you're in pro ball and you're playing every single day. So definitely a big adjustment just with understanding how to feel good every day. And then on top of that, making sure you're also not losing just weight in your eating. And that was kind of what I ran into my first big league season was like, you're anxious for the games but you get there early and you're kind of moving around and, sometimes you just forget to eat lunch, and after the game I was like starving. But yeah, it's definitely gotten better.
More Brewers Weekly coming up on WTMJ.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the President's Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big bucks on top brands like Bradenton Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradenton Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. We'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the President's Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well,
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
What have you learned about just the day-to-day grind of being a big leaguer? Because, I mean, I look at a guy a couple lockers down from you, Yelly, and it's just that he's set this standard for all of you guys, to learn. Here's what I've done for 12, 13 years now in the show. I hope you can learn from this, or what are you taking from guys, not just him, but other guys of, like, the day-to-day being a big leaguer?
Yeah, I mean, that was all I was doing. Like, I remember me and Bryce talking about it our first year. We were like, I mean, practically in Yelly's hip pocket, with an invisible notepad, like, all right, this guy's played for, this is his 14th season, like, in the big leagues. He's played pro ball for another, 5 years. It's like, and how is he still doing it? How is he still in the shape he is? Like, we have a perfect example right here. Let's just follow everything he does. And you don't need to necessarily use everything, but then you pick and say, oh man, I tried this really works, or this doesn't. And then you look at guys like Woody, and we had Hoskins last year, who's another great guy to like learn that stuff from. And these guys that are older that are still playing and feel good, it's like, okay, they're doing something right.
When you and Bryce come up together, and other guys have made debuts of like some of those squads that moved up. I remember talking to you like the hot stove thing when you came up to Milwaukee, and it was you and G. Mitch, and it's just like, when you look back 3-4 years ago, and sort of the vision of the Brewers saw this core coming, you guys were all around in the big leagues at the same time. Like, I know I've asked you this before, but like seeing it happen, like you can't believe it when you're in the minors, right? But now it's reality.
Yeah, you literally can't believe it in the minors. Like you never think. I mean, you look around and there's guys that you're playing with that you're like, all right, maybe a few of us hopefully make it as well as like everyone. And I really feel like this organization is so unique where I feel like all those guys I was playing with at each level, ended up coming up to the big leagues at the same year. Playing with Bryce and Tyler Black and, Logan Henderson. And it's just like, that's what the Brewers take pride into, is drafting, developing homegrown guys. Because we're not going to go out and sign big free agents every offseason, and we're fine with that. That's not, what we do. I think we have great player development here. I think we have great scouts, and it's just so cool seeing all your friends and going through with them, go through the minors and get the call.
Not only that, like the coaches coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Too. I mean, the familiarity,
good point, Dom.
top to bottom. Like,
yeah.
Can you expound on that? Like, why familiarity? And you see other teams like completely revamp player development staffs and think like just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. Like, that's kind of the opposite of what the Brewers do.
Opposite, yeah. I mean, Matt Erickson was my high A manager, and now when I came up, he was the infield coach. Now he's coaching third. Spencer Allen was the field coordinator here. He was at Northwestern when I was in college, another college guy. Now he's coaching first. He's our outfield base running coach. We got Vogie. E.T. was my high A coach. Like, everyone on staff I had in the minors, and it's just like, it's a great place for the coaches to develop too, and kind of to come into their own as a coach and develop their teaching habits. And all those guys are so deserving of the job now. And we're pumped to have those guys.
How badly do you want to like just get better? I think like I picture you as just a gamer. Like, I'm just listening to you take swings and everything's competitive. There's loud. It's your guys, your teammates are being boys with you and everything. But it's just like, you seem like maybe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the most competitive guy in that clubhouse. Like, who is in that upper tier with you as far as competitive dudes?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially as an offensive player, you have to almost trick yourself into being overly competitive, just to have that mindset going into the box. But yeah, I mean, even when we're just taking batting practice, or we're hitting off a machine, like, I'm always trying to turn something into a competition, or see if guys want to do something. Or I love facing our own teammates in live at bats. Like, never get to face them during the year, so it's like, oh, let's see if I can get in the box against this guy now and compete, do a little tango, whatnot. So I love it. It's super fun.
Do you take like game reps, lives and everything as sort of like, I can learn something, or I can help my teammate? Is a bit of both? Like,
100% both.
What is your approach when you're taking these?
Oh, both for sure. Like, I mean, the approach anytime you get into the box is, I'm gonna try to take the pitcher's head off. It changes a little bit when you're facing your own guy. You still get pretty competitive, but I mean, you're giving each other feedback even mid at bat. Like, I can be, take a pitch and you could ask why I didn't swing at that, or I can